Yo, what is good? We are back with another, video stream. Um, yeah, so let's just get right into it. It's Friday, it's the 6th. We have a lot of news. We had 8:30 news today. So we're just gonna jump right into it. All right. Today, well, so we started to sell off pretty heavy. Um, we're currently in this 4-hour gap right here. So we're just gonna simply get everything charted out, marked out that we need marked, and we're just gonna go from there. So currently we have sell side liquidity resting below, open sell side. We're gonna see what happens with that. Daily low as well. Um, we're gonna just see where we're at this point in time. So we also have sell side right here not met, as well as we know we're in this 4-hour gap, and that's not gonna close until 10 o'clock. So 4-hour gap. We're gonna see how that plays out. We know this sell side has been taken, but this has not, you know. So we know we have an SMT in the market at the moment. We're gonna see how, well this SMT delivers, if it wants to even, you know, deliver. But I just want to really, put out for today that, and going forward that, I'm really going to focus on my rules, what I'm what I'm trying to preach about, trading. Like I find this that the most important thing is patience, seeing what you see and trusting it, you know. So, we got buy side liquidity resting here, and we're gonna go on the 1 hour and do the same exact thing. So, yeah, like I said, patience is success in this game. If you're able to stay patient, you're able to stay calm, you're able to, spot out what you want to see, then you will, you simply just will. You'll get what you want in this game. And that's not always going to be a win, a loss, It's not always going to be what you want it to be. And it's one of the most important things that we have to always remember, that winning does not make you a better trader. So, coming into today, we're going to focus on everything we got to focus on. We're going to finish the week out strong. We're going to practice our patience. Um, and pretty much just go from there. Right now, we know we got a bullish S&P. Sell side on ES has been swept. So we're simply just going to wait and, wait for that opportunity for the market to, display itself if it wants to, and, go from there. Just grateful, to be trading, grateful to have an account. Those are the little things that you have to always remember. Like, not everybody gets to have this opportunity and, trade, so. About 10 more minutes till open. Just want to see how this, imbalance delivers. Like I said, that 4-hour is holding. And, if we want to hold, we'll see, how it does. So right now we know we got 2 15 minutes. We're gonna group them up just like that. And for ES, we don't have that. So we're gonna take this right here and then bam. Group these 2 15 minutes up as well. So we know in an imbalance on NQ, we know we've yet to take out this form of sell side, but we did take out a lot of lows and on our way down. We did take out a 4-hour low here, and then obviously dug inside of this 4-hour gap. So I'm not looking for a crazy move back all the way up to buy side or nothing like that. Possibly could even look for a continuation, right? But I need to see some move higher if I want to see lower. And if I want to see something, higher, I must see lower first. So I'm just gonna be patient, I'm just gonna wait. Like yesterday was a beautiful representation of just patience pays, because when I was patient and I waited, the model was right in front of my face. So I'm just gonna look for that, obviously that fail, at least touch that 15-minute on both of these indexes. I want to see that for, many reasons, because depending on how we get through this first 15, that could be, our dig higher up into this one. And also, we do have an SMT here. And that SMT possibly could have been the reason for that, last expansion, like lower here, which it was. So, but I'm saying for a reason that let's just say that SMT only wanted to do that. We know that this new buy side level, along with this wide open 15, is a clean target, and where is that resting along this entire move? Right there, right above equilibrium, perfectly. So if we do want to get above, 15-minute, possibly open, and then pull back inside and, along here, then something, So just gonna wait, and, just gonna wait for my opportunity. I'm not here to jump the gun. I'm not here to prove anything. Literally just here to wait for my opportunity, and, when it presents itself, I'll be able to take that. Yeah, so got some displacement. Looks like we're running that all over again. See how MQ wants to hold up inside this 1 minute. MQ wants to hold, then we could look for a change out of this somewhere here over time frame. Even the 30 seconds super clean. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make a make that right now and then save that. Put it like that, because I needed one of those instead of just always hitting the 1 minute, erasing it. I needed that for a little bit. So 1 minute's holding, right? Bullish. We get a change here, clear. We pulled back to it. So now if I really went along this here, we'd see a change. We'd see a change out of it here. And obviously, we get through this gap. So, same thing with ES, doing the same exact thing. Change out of this. gonna look for a full close or full change. There's no reason not to look for that, especially if we're on a lower time frame. Just the situation that we're in. That's exactly what I want to see, you know. I want to see this hold too. That doesn't hold, then, you know, there's no need to even, you know, place our trade. So 1 minute, this is what it looks like. We are opening up a 1 minute too. Already respected the 1 minute too. Respected this 2 minute as well. And there's no 3 minute. So this is why we wait though. Wait for everything to just, you know, fill. Let the orders just do the orders type of thing, bro. Because at the end of the day, if we were to be long here, then this gap holds. You know, there's no lower time frame at the moment, so this gap should hold, right? And then we change out of it. So again, for me, I'm in no rush to trade. I'm just scaling down and I'm seeking, you know, the opportunity that we're in. I want to see this change actually before, you know, it's a 2 minute change. I want to see that 2 minute change, which that's in there. We get it right there. And then the fact we get that 2 minute change, you know, I would like to see this 30-second be the next one since it is lower time frame. So we did get a 2 minute right here and we're starting to expand just like that. So we get that 30-second change. Just gonna look for a pullback. 1 minute's clear down there. So wait for a clean pullback. If we don't pull back, we just continue to watch and just let the market do the market's thing. Get that on ES. I want to see if ES got that. ES got that. So ES did not get that clean 2 minute off of that same candle. So now we are opening up a 30-second gap here. Could just put a limit buy, just let it rest there. We pull back to that 30-second change, then we do. If we don't, then we're just gonna simply, you know, let that rock out. We got that 2 minute change. You know, we were confident in that. And if that had played out, we could seek that 30-second. And obviously know where we wouldn't want it to trade back to. So no pullback to the change. So gonna take off that limit buy right now. You know, we're inside of this 15 minute. So I do want to see what this open brings, what type of volatility it wants to bring to the, you know, the market. So we got that 2 minute close, 2 minute gap opens. So just gonna let it rock out, you know. We got no fill, nothing happened, so we're just gonna wait. Changes all the way down there. No 5 minute change, nothing that is, you know, significant in this moment. So yeah, nothing crazy happening here. So ES though, if you look on ES, we fill that 15 minute, right? And we put that full change in down here. And we just trade, we run. We're obliterating candles right now. So SMT is in right now. I'm gonna look for a change out of this. SMT is in the market right here. If we want to go higher, we'll hold here. If we want to go lower, NQ will follow up with this change, and we could possibly target sell side. If, you know, so we're in a predicament. We're just going to wait. Change is here on this 15-second, which I like it. But we have to, note that SMT gets put in, fills the 30-second, pulls back to this change. But if we want to get lower, that change on the 30-second, it gets invalidated, and we start to sell off lower. So, but if we want to go higher, what happens? Excuse me, this SMT holds, and that's exactly what it's looking like. Buy 3 here, put my stop at the SMC. Looks like we're gonna get that change out, which we did right there. We get that change out of this entire move. Jump to the 1 minute. And, we just take out all these lows down here too. We just throw in more SMTs. Gonna target the top of this fair value gap right here. And, so we're just targeting the top of this gap. I'm looking for a reason and a spot to go break even. So if we get inside of this gap right here, right? If we do want to push higher, and we are correct, then inside this 3 minute, I will go break even. But if this does want to hold, right, and we do want to actually get higher, this gap right there holds. That change fails. We change out of this, we pull back down. The 4 lines up perfect up there. So moving our stop loss up now, we want to see the gaps in favor to hold, which would be this 30-second holding. So if it does not want to hold, then we'll obviously get our answer here. And we'll just wait. After that, we're okay with the loss. We're accepting it. We are tightening up the risk a little bit, but we are just going to target the top of this gap. So it looks like it does not want to hold. Simple as that. And yeah. So boom, we're stopped, right? We're stopped. SMT is not holding. You jump to this 30-second, it's getting invalidated with a change. Sell 3 here. And that means that this 4-hour is starting to hold. So we get a 30-second change, 30-second gets invalidated. And that's what I mean by the predicament we were in. And then boom, change gets put in perfectly. SMT low gets taken out. Boom, and sell side is now getting hunted. As soon as ES takes this low out, I'm just going to go break even. And we're going to just look for continuations. ES has yet to take out the low. So if you look at this chart down here versus this chart, this low is obviously down there. So that is our SMT low. So I'm gonna look for obviously that to get, swept first before I take off anything or before I go break even for many reasons. Because we could see just a continuation lower. ES may even want to, dig even deeper into like, the weekly, push to the daily down here. So, like I said, as soon as it gets swept, it's gonna go break even. Tighten that up just a little bit. Fifteen seconds right now is just clean, super clean model. We're looking for that long to play out, but the long obviously was not showing, any type of strength. We would have wanted to go when we did, and we would not have ran this gap, with that holding, SMTs in the market, and then boom, what do we do? We get a bearish model put in right there, SMT at the highs, bam. So just watching this trade at this moment, and like I said, we're looking for ES to get that push lower, take out sell side. Looking for this 1 minute to hold. I got that 30-second change, and so 1 minute does not hold, gets invalidated. Still have an SMT in the market. Still got that bullish SMT holding. This is the only way I go along here. Get that change put in. That's it. And that will be the final trade because that's just gonna it'll just be too much invalidation. We're filling this 15, still have this buy side up here. SMT is still in play right here. All we did was just take out the low. So stop's just gonna go right there. Just wouldn't want to see us get back higher. I mean lower in this position. We run this 1 minute for no apparent reason. Inverse it. Trade back into it. So just looking for like a continuation higher, and then buy side liquidity being met. So we're just gonna hold on to this here. BPR inverse slash 1 minute opening up. We're looking for that change with a follow through too. If we get a change here, I'm gonna be a lot more confident in this trade. But just based off the inverse, I could expect the change, but just gotta wait and see. 30-second fails to change. This looks like we're seeking back lower, so we're just gonna see. Wait for this, got that 1 minute fill. for that change out as well. In this 15 second. We get this change to right here. Clean. So we will get that on the 1 minute. So 1 minute does fail to change, but we're gonna look for, you know, legs out. Get that 15 second. That's what we get here. SMT still holds. We just take out this low. Tight stop. We're trading back into this inverse, but we're staying above. So we failed to put in this 1 minute change a couple of times, but we're still going to be seeking that, We get inside of this 3 minute here. Can look to go break even, risk free. But just inversing this entire leg, taking out this sell side, us failing here too. Still having a bullish SMT in the market gave me a lot of confidence to, putting on this last long. So I am looking for this change, but if we're not going to get it, which we are right here, we got it on that 30 second right there, pull back to it, then, like I said, I want to see it on this 1 minute. We get a 2 minute change though, so that is something to, note. 2 minute change is valid. Clean up all the drawings. Just like this. We do run this 2 minute and open up a 2 minute. Stops right below it. 2 minute change gets put in. Four-hour gap is holding. Only reason we're so bearish is that we're inside of a 15 minute and, a 15 minute above too. Stops right below the 2 minute. So could possibly pull back to this inverse and, just want to seek higher. But we're just going to watch from here. Damn. So I'm going to clear this up real quick. Pull back to this inverse perfectly right there. Inverse, 2 minute gap, we pull back to it. So from here, I really wouldn't want to see much lower. I'm gonna look break even pretty soon then. If we want to take out these high internal highs and get into this 3 minute, it's kind of where I'm gonna start looking for the break even. We pull back, we do all that, we're just chopping. So here's where I start seeking, that expansion. Heading towards the macro too. But again, like I said, this is a really confident stab. SMT change on the 2 minute. I'm looking for that 1 minute change. Like we inverse this, we trade back inside of the inverse. So it's still a confident ass stab at the end of the day. And whatever happens during this happens. So but looks like we're about to get stopped here. traded back into it. We're inside this inverse again here. S&T is there. So boom, we get stopped there. That's gonna be it for the day. Look, ES is starting to hunt towards sell side. Put a change in. Everything was clean, you know. But at the end of the day, we took our stabs down a little bit. Like, look, 2 minutes about to get inverse. Put a change in. But I just can't keep on trading it, you know. At the end of the day, like, that's wrong. Like, that's just, you know, it's no expansion to like what we're doing. But at the end of the day, yo, like, took our confidence stabs. You know, we trusted in the model. Saw what we saw. So looks like this 15-minute is just gonna hold. It's just crazy that this 2-minute is not you know, seeming to like it look like it's gonna hold, but yeah. So now we have sell side swept. Just gonna put my stop right below this low. ES took out sell side. This is literally just the last trade at the end of the day. Like I said, it's one of those like, you know, fuck it, we ball stabs. Like super confident though, bro. Like this shit is just crazy. But hey, like I said, I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I gotta pay the price for it. But you know, I'm not afraid to do that at all. So changing the state on the 30-second. Look to go break even at these highs. Just not gonna touch anything. If we're wrong, we're wrong. Just gonna let this one play out. All right, yo. So took one more stab. It's confident. Looks like, today is just not, you know, going to play out accordingly. But you gotta just live with that, accept it. I took my stab. Um, I was confident of allowing price action just to, stop me out or not stop me. So that's pretty much it. Look at this on the 1 minute, get on the 5 minute. It's just shit is it's ugly as fuck. We're not going anywhere on NQ. ES, did take out a confident draw. We're in an area to reject in many ways, so we took it confident, we trusted it. That's all you can really do at the end of the day. So with that, just not gonna do any more damage. Um, still like I said, super confident, still looking for price to hold. There's just no reason for me to, I feel like, take it anymore. But we failed to put in them changes and everything. Went break even. Something just, 2 minutes still holding, respecting this inverse. Traded down, we get no legs inside of that. I'll pay the price if I enter here again. But I'm just looking for that 4 hour to hold, like I said, which it is at the moment. You take off this shit up here. Put a clear change in. But I'd want to see it, down here. Even all the way down here. If that's how we're, if we're really seeking sell side. ES doesn't take the internal low or nothing. Really just no point right now. Don't really see a point. So yeah, took our stabs. At the end of the day, like that shit, that's what you want to see. It's exactly what you want to see. So looks like this 2 minutes gonna get inversed. And Q has a lot of reason to sell off. We shoot these highs. And we do have reason to go lower. 4 hour is holding too, so respecting bearish at the moment. Bought 3 right there. Really just looking for the, same exact move up in the buy side. This high, I'm gonna go break even. Put that 1 minute change in. So I'm gonna go break even here. 4 hour does hold bullish above the 50% mark as well. Right here is a break even level. Digging inside of that 3 minute now too. Just want to see, like, this is what I mean. If I didn't enter, if I didn't fucking enter, and I'm not saying to enter. I'm not saying I'm right or this is gonna go to TP. I'm not saying anything. But if I didn't fucking enter, I wouldn't have the opportunity. That's exactly what would have happened. We just would have fucking ran, And if we're bullish, I'm gonna seek this to hold. So I'm seeking this gap and this gap to hold, right here. So but that's what I mean, bro. That's exactly what I mean right there. Like 4 hour opens, and if we hold in this 4 hour, it's gonna be aggressive. I know it. Like I know it's gonna be aggressive, just based off the fact we have a 4 hour change right here. Possibly want to pull back to. 4-hour equilibrium. Now that it's set because we have that, that low that's actually put in, and we have buy side all resting right there. So I'm really just gonna let this trade. I'm gonna let this one play out. So if it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, this is truly, this is the last one. But that's exactly what I wanted to see out of that shit, though. Just a full 1 minute change right there. Like, that's aggressive. That's showing signs that, we are bullish. Pull back to it or don't, We're already in, and I entered based upon this right here. We have these lows right down here. 15-second is all the way right there. This little gap right there. We're supposed to just respect and get lower. Straight run through it. 30-second, just gone. We're out of there. So I do want to delete all these drawings real quick. I'm just going to delete them. I'm going to draw this. So I know from here to here, we are in discount, but that's not the full range that we're in. Full range is, if I even go to the 1 hour. Oh yeah, after tapping that gap, we are in discount. 4 hour though. Right there. Buy side resting up here. Change. So yeah. That's what the 3 minute looks like. We're down, 7 on the day right now. Risking still. But just the long steps we're taking, like this alone, this here to here. Yeah, I at least want to see the market, draw to this too. 15-minute looks like it's not gonna hold. Just gonna let this one rock out, like I said. Gonna put this below, right there. 2 minute is in place, so I think right in this point in time, we're down on the day. So we're just gonna, either, lose this on a little $600 loss type of day, or, we'll be up a little bit. But we're just gonna let it rock here. I mean, at the point in time, like I said, just took confident longs. Like, I mean, I guess, like, bro, my stops here, I'm in that shit still. And that's kind of where I went wrong. My bias is correct, though. And that's one thing, that I'm not going to discredit myself on. The bias is correct. What I wanted to see is playing out, but it's how I'm getting in there, and getting the fills. So that's another thing just to note. But I'm okay with, being down on a day like that. Stop losses underneath that 2 minute. Right at this 2 minute change too. We pull right back to it. Kind of just want to, I would seek legs out of this. There's no really need to get lower. So yeah, if we don't run this here, I'm just gonna close. If we don't get above this gap, putting a change either, just gonna be out. You just see a change out of this right there. we get a change out of this. And the reason I'm saying that is because we're inside of this 2 minute at the moment, and it possibly is a 3 minute that opened up. So our stops are right below the 3 minute, inside of a 2 minute. And what I wanted to see out of that is the same exact model, you know. We run this gap, still 15-second gap, and we put in a change. So I'm looking for that here. Don't want to see lower, so as soon as we change here, I'm just gonna start trailing this shit aggressive because I'm just gonna capitalize. 30-second gap should hold here. This gap should hold if we want to, you know, put this change in. We already filled. I would expect this 3 minute that we opened up just to stay open. Fill this 2 minute perfectly. So if this gap doesn't want to stay open, we'll just end it on that right there. Are inside this 2 minute right there. So bam. I'm cool with that. Gonna call it there on the day. Yeah, like I said, just one of those days, you know. Price action it's not really aligning with anything. So I'm sure a lot of people, you know, like, and I'm not saying this for my own sake. I'm just saying I'm sure a lot of people, you know, they're looking for a long play out, you know, tight wrist, tight stop, and that shit is just, you know, it's doing its own thing today. So at the end of the day, still ate back a lot of that loss, you know. That's calm right there, a little $430 loss. You know, at the end of the day, that is, like I said, that is just what trading is, you know. So not everything is gonna play out perfectly to what you want. Looks like this 30 minute that we're in, 15 minute that we're in is holding. But yeah, I mean, look at that. Just starting to sell back off. Like so, you know, we are inside of this 50 right there. So it's another thing. Look what happens as soon as we get inside of that 50 range. Start chopping, selling back off. So for me, I'm just gonna call it there. You know, I wouldn't say it was the best day. Nah, but at the end of the day, we still did, you know, capitalize. We made a lot of that loss back, saved ourselves, you know, for a couple more days in the future. So that's gonna be the week, you know. Hey, I'll probably have a video out about how the week went, you know, what we're coming in to look for next week. But like I said, that shit is just funny to me, bro. Like 2 minutes just gets blitzed. Like we open this shit up. We open that shit up for no reason, bro. Like 3 minute, like we're displacing. Yeah, just getting right through that shit. I should just stomping people out today. I know that shit is, but I mean, I'm not saying no one capitalized, man. Yes, you may have capitalized on the short. Don't get me wrong. It's a possibility, but you know this shit right here, like, bro, that shit is just crazy to me. Yeah, that'll definitely do it though. Just watching right now, just you know, trying to see, you know, where I fucking could have played that shit smarter. Just didn't want to do shit today, you know, and then obviously starting to really get these just legs in, showing signs of like true aggression, you know, to the downside. Finally, something, you know, significant. But yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't fucking get it. We run this shit to just start getting right back up. possibly gonna put another change in right here. Get to the upside. So, fill that gap. Boom. Yeah. Looks like we're fucking out of there again. You know, so like I said, that 2 minute gets filled again off this leg, and this gap was the gap that wants to hold. This is very strong. There's a BPR, so we have this inverse along with this 2 minute. Fill it again. Boom, and it looks like we're putting in a whole new change all over again. Boom, we put that change in, open up these gaps. I do want to long this here. Up into buy side again, you know, really take this move here. But you know, I felt like I would have, I feel like I've missed it already. So necessarily don't want to just put on unnecessary size. I'm looking for a 1 minute build up here change. Said I was going to be done, but the model's still playing out to exactly what I wanted to see. Just going to buy 2 here. My stop loss tight. To buy side. $80 stop loss. You want to, you know, just keep this risk a little tight because I'm trying to seek this change, follow through a little bit. 1 minute change with follow through. Along with, sorry, a 30-second change too. So boom, we get it right there. We get that change. Stop could go here. I'm just gonna leave it tight though, right at the 30-second. Just gonna see if I can add here to position. Need to see like a strong leg out though. I want to add here. So I just get stopped for some more bread. Put it right there. I'll stop at the change. Just gonna let it rock here. I'm just gonna see higher from here. Here's the 15-minute that we are in. Like I said, I'm looking for that 30-second to hold and, us to get higher. So we get, deeper inside of this 15-minute, we'll just go break even here. Just looking for a continuation though. Same exact long I took earlier. Just continuation long. So we're above this 15. I said 15. We're above the 50 mark of this gap. We closed above it too. So I'm simply just gonna tighten up my risk here. I don't want to see us come below it, but if we do, like I said, it's just a little continuation, tightening up our stop. We're looking to see, expansion here. We closed above. So nothing like that wants to play out, and it's fine. Tapped at this 1 minute change too. Beautifully, bro. This shit was just a beautiful long. I'm not saying I missed it, but Definitely just capitalized, positioned myself the right way, I believe. Um, $20 stop loss ain't bad though. So yeah, we can stop there. Cool. Yeah, that's gonna be it though. Just tried it, one more. Obviously, you get to pull back here and tap inside this 1 minute. There's reason still to go higher, which we can go without me, but I am gonna call it there. Like that was just one of those last stabs. $11 loss. It's not bad. But yeah, it's clean. It's super clean. Today was, I'm not gonna say it's the cleanest day. Uh, um, you know, definitely wasn't the cleanest day, but we're definitely just playing at. It's all playing out though, for sure. It's all playing out. Everything just keeps playing back in the favor. So keep our stop down here. We already tapped the 1 minute change right there. Filled the two. Filled this 1 minute. We respected it. 15-second change gets put in. Here's the top. Just consolidating around this range. Stop is right below that body. Failed to put a 30-second change in, but that's kind of, we're seeking that. We're looking for that continuation. Pull back, change out of it. All the bearish gaps that are, holding that were not that are opening up are not holding. So stop loss ain't gonna go anywhere different though. It's just gonna stay right there. That leg that changes, boom, right above it. I mean, right below my fault. But looks like we're gonna get stopped. Which that is okay. Just accepting this at that point, not going for a win. I'm just taking this because where buy side is resting. We feel this too, just a tiny bit though. 15-minute right there. Most likely gonna get stopped here. Get stopped. We're just gonna lock this shit out. Just gonna walk away, accept our L on the day, and just be cool with that. Because at the end of the day, it could have been worse. It could have been better. So always some things that don't, definitely gonna go and have a good journal session. This shit crazy though, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like this is what struck me all the way down here. That motherfucker just struck me. Hey, bro, the fact that we did this shit soon as 10 a.m. opens. Gang, that shit was a stinger. Not really a stinger, but bro, I get stopped and profit. We're up. Get stopped and profit. Boom. So yeah, it looks like this is not gonna play out, but we're still here, still fighting. This shit is still fighting. Um, Not really doing nothing in this moment. Nothing's happening now. I ain't gonna lie. So really, just it's gonna be an unnecessary loss if we take this here. But that's where, you know, at the same time, like I said, I'm looking for that full continuation. What I would wanted to have see it already. That's kind of why, excuse me, I took it. We're inside the macro during all of this. So, damn, like, yeah, we pulled back, boom, tap the change. It's kind of why I seem, you know, to take this here. Excuse me. But damn, bro. Definitely unfortunate on the day, you know, like, I know exactly, you know, how I'm gonna be coming in the next week, though. You know, stop loss placement, you know, trade ideas, everything. Because, like, I'm seeing it now, you know, I'm seeing it for sure. And this alone was, like, one of those days. Like, I seen this here. We take this low. We still hold a bullish SMT in the market. Boom. And we just been running higher since. You know, so since I get that change here, boom, just gotta wait. You know, I gotta wait for some sort of pullback, some reason to come back, you know, lower, and then actually just place my stop loss, you know, in the right spot. Like if I get filled here, I can have my stop at this low, and you know, just continue to seek higher, you know, buy side and just let that jump play out. For real, like let it play out. At the end of the day, if it wants to go there, that's where it's gonna go. You know, I can't control it, but I can, you know, control putting my stop loss if I go here, you know, putting that shit too tight, putting it here, you know, here. So it really, like I said, it's just position and at the end of the day, just accepting, you know, accepting like I gotta throw on, you know, less size to give myself more room, you know, at the moment. Boom. You know, now I can at least like say I have my stop loss here and I simply just targeted the 50, this 15. Say I had like $200 on here, you know? Damn, $400. Like, yeah, I'm sitting through a little bit of it, but still, you know, like I said, it's the whole accepting part. So it's kind of what I'm noticing. Like we have not came to, you know, that one original stop loss was right here. We haven't came to it yet. But since I tightened it up, boom, you know, I have to pay that consequence. And, you know, obviously, price action is definitely not, you know, the most like aligned to the bias. Like I'm seeking this here. Bam, I'm seeking for this to go higher. I'm not like expecting us to just come all the way down. Run this gap, run that gap, boom. You know, like that's one thing that it is to notice, but just seeing, like I said, ES going to 1 minute. ES takes out sell side, puts this change in, and boom, you know, ES is just starting to run as well. So, like I said, it's definitely a lot of things to recognize and, you know, just work on, journal, you know, have a great journaling session, trust me. So now, it's gonna go break even here. We get stopped, bro, I don't really care. Like, at this point in time, we're up, we're not up. Boom, unnecessary loss down there. No need to take it in my eyes. So, gonna go 0 for a, no, not even plus. We're just gonna go straight right there. We're gonna cover the fees. But yeah, like I said, could have been worse on the day. It is a $450 loss. Like that in my eyes, I'm pleased with that. I'm okay with that. You know, coming out, you know, still on top at the end of the day. Like the markets ain't beat me today, you know what I mean? And a lot of days you have to be able to control that, you know? So that's just one thing that I truly am, you know, recognizing within my trading. So we're break even right now. We're just looking for a full, you know, continuation of this 15-minute just to get expanded through. Once we get up here, like I said, I'm still seeking that buy side level. So got a gap up here, 15-minute. Buy side resting right there. You know, you got targets here, here, the top of this fair value gap, like right here, target, you know. So there's targets everywhere. If you play it right. There's no 5 minute. There's no really 5 minute gap holding us. There's really no 3 minute holding us. No 2 minute holding us. We do have this 2 minute high to the left of us right here. Could look for that to go break even, which we already are. But I'm still gonna follow the rules, like of if I have see a spot where I could go break even, I'm gonna go break even. I'm gonna position myself, for the better. So I think that's really the most important thing, like positioning yourself for the better. Like just because it doesn't go today, doesn't mean the next day it won't do that. You can't just like base it all like, oh well, today since this happened, I'm just never gonna do that again. Like nah, you know, even at this point in time, like there is still a way, I could have went break even. And that's really just, working on my fills too. I see this get stopped. I look for, a change. The first change we put in, we pull back to. The first change right here, we pull back to perfectly. How many times? Like 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. And we just continue to run. And from there, like that was it. So there definitely is, reasoning behind everything this market puts in. It's just seeing it, like I think I seen it, very, very well though. I think I seen it very well. The fact that I seen this low gets taken and we still have a SMT, my eyes are drawn upon this and I'm like, yo, this first change, I want to see that, and boom, I take that confidently. Then at the end of the day, I'm not worried about all of this bullshit that, sometimes is happening. So just one thing, I know I gotta work on and recognize when something significant like really does happen, then I need to trust it. So right now, not really looking at much. We do have a 1 minute that opened up in favor right here. It is respecting, it's holding, but no 2 minute, no 3 minute, obviously. The price action we're dealing with right now, hell no. Not really much is showing, but looks like it's gonna be a break-even trade. But again, like I said, I was cool with that. We did tap this 15-second all the way down here. Still respecting that 1 minute. But that's really it. That's really it. There's really nothing. You can't trade this shit. I'm telling you. Cannot trade that shit. You really gotta be in that shit a lot deeper. Like I had I'm really trying to see where my order was too. Yeah, bro. If I could like find that shit and tell you, I will. Yeah, right here. Order filled right there. Bam. We put that change in and then, you know. But like what happened? What did I say? If we're bullish, right? This gap holds. If we're bullish. We fill it, it holds, and we continue to run higher. So like that's what I mean. Like if you're confident in like something in a draw too, like you can stand by that shit. You can stick to it. Like it's nothing saying that you can't stick to it. But at the end of the day, it's to not like over risk because you're losing. Like I didn't over risk just because I lost and I took a loss. I still took my simple trades that I knew. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna take this trade and I'm gonna let this shit play out. I didn't just like change up my rules because I lost though. I didn't, slap on 8 cons and try to like, long this shit to the moon and tighten up my stop and keep on doing it, keep on doing it. I stuck with the same consistent size. I allowed that shit to play out, So right here, I'm just gonna let this gap be the gap that really determines if we want to continue. I do want to see this high get ran, right? So this should hold. And bam. So now I'm just gonna start tightening up my risk. Probably gonna go here. Even here now, just based upon like what we're doing, looks like we're starting to get those legs. So boom, that buy side liquidity is getting hunted now. We are, like I said, that was a beautiful trade at the end of the day. Even to take this continuation, I took that 15-second, put my stop down here. I told myself exactly that's what I'm gonna do. So we fill this 30-second gap. No need to go lower than that. So we're gonna just leave our stop loss right there. But yeah, like I said, look, 15-second change, that bearish gap does not hold. So what did I do? I'm in right there. Stop loss is right there. We literally were a point away. We're like 2 points away. So 30-second right here should hold if we want to go higher right there. Look, want to go higher, this 30-second holds at this point in time, you know. And look where we're at. We're above that 15-minute. So I don't really want to see us trade back down into it either. See if we put this, you know, change back up out of it right here. Definitely ate our loss back up though, for sure on the day. And, you know, still capitalizing at this point in time. We put this change in, then where's my stop loss go then? Well, we opened up a 15-second right here, filled that too, group these together. So boom, stopped right there. Down 172 in the day. And I'm just gonna let that shit rock, you know? At the end of the day, this trade was, you know, was all the way from down here is one of them fucking weak ball trades. Like, bro, my bias was correct. And I'm very pleased with, you know, the decision making. Like, I still had capitalized in and out all of this based upon where I put my stop loss at. But like I said, that was a fucking weak ball trade, you know? Um, that shit had me crying though, I ain't gonna lie. Cause look, 10 a.m. just coming. Tell you, a lot of people got fucked here, bro. A lot of people, you know, they got fucked there. I ain't gonna lie. But hey, they ain't really. I'm not gonna probably make a trade recap video. Probably just gonna let this live. If you want to watch the live, you can watch this jump. But I think streaming, you know, definitely the move. Um, this shit is just funny to me. I'm telling you, we take this high, and you know, look, that gap is still holding. So it's a matter of time. It's really a matter of time. This 30-second gap is still holding. You know, if I put it right there under the body, like I said, I just put it above the 15. I didn't want to see us trade back down to it at that point in time. But that's because, you know, I'm capitalizing. I'm capitalizing. If we're going to be up, you know, for something here and it's like 300 right there, you know, I'm cool with that. I'm letting that 150 still ride, you know, and I'm just going to keep on trailing that. So I'm cool with that, you know. Um, if we go to buy side like I had planned, I'm even more cool with that because that shit just gives me more of an understanding that, yo, my bias is correct. It simply is just a positioning, you know? And that's 2 days in a row, you know? So I'm not really looking to, you know, continue to trade this shit. So I'm gonna delete all the drawings. Um, yo, this is some bullshit though, I ain't gonna lie. Like, go to the 3-minute, bro. That shit is disgusting. Like, that shit is disgusting. But, bro, looks like we're gonna take out this buy side level. That's fire, though. It's definitely fire. We're just expanding now. And, you know, that is the target. Look, what did I say, though? It's 30-second held. Just based upon the legs we got out of it. Put that change in here. Boom. From here, we're probably gonna head up to buy side. About 30 points away. Yes, nowhere near. Still fighting these gaps. Yes, is lagging deeply. But super, super crazy day. That shit is funny though. Like, bro, mad people just ate shit today. I know it though. Like, I mean, just like look at this shit. Your stop loss could have been in a perfect spot. Like, bro, perfect, bro. And just shoot, you like stop people, bro. Just said like fuck you. Like, shit did not care. And then you see this too. Pull back. Oh, word legs up. Fill the last gap, bro. The last gap possible. Where are we going? Like, bro, insane, insane. But I feel like this all just all has its reason, and definitely know how I'm coming. Next week I'm gonna definitely have a video dropped though about the week and everything. But I do want to just see if we want to go take out this level, which I know it's probably gonna get met. Just watching it now. Yeah, so that's gonna be it for today. Just gotta log this shit out. No more trades. Rest of the week. Shit's gone. So that's it for the week. Not a horrible day. But I think it's important to know when enough is enough. Like I think if I'm gonna, trade and I put myself in a position where I'm not losing, a lot of money, then I am okay with that. I took a little bit more trades than usual today, but that's because the bias was actually so confident. Like I had understood once I seen the moves that I wanted to see. Like I'm like, yeah, bro, I know where the draw on liquidity is, and it has to be the only freaking high in all of this bullshit, which is all the way up here. If we don't want to go and take out this leg right here that we're actually closer to, I know the draw is here, and if we hold this 4 hour, we have a change that we're gonna pull back. Like it's just so much reasoning that I was like confident in, and then obviously what happens, that bias actually plays out perfect. But for today and the trades that we took, um, to be down seven like 50, 760 or something, and to bring it down there, that's an amazing day. At the end of the day, you can't really complain. So I'm trying to see this shit get hit though. Like that's really my main thing. But hey, bro, someone probably have their TP here. That shit's probably gonna run all these gaps. It's so possible, but if I were still in that trade, which I could have let that shit just play out, but I'm closing right there. I'm top taking that shit. I'm closing 2 points away. I'm closing that shit. I don't give a fuck. That shit is just like crazy to me. But like I said, to come out on top, still, like, oh, you down 172. You know, definitely it's a good feeling for sure. TP right there. If we change, bro, we're gone, gang. We're fucking out of there. If we change, there ain't no gaps that are really gonna stop it either. There's a 3 minute here, 2 minute, 5 minute right there. That'd be the only spot. A lot of people, bro. I had a lot of people today, for sure. It had me, so I'm not saying I'm nice like that either, but I know what I'm doing. That shit is hilarious. Like, bro. 2 points. That's thank you. Yeah, like I said, so I'm already locked out. I can't take no more trades anyways. I wasn't going to. I know when enough is enough. That's just having like that, like, respect. But I'm okay, like I said, taking that. I'll take them stabs. Like if I can go risk free, and especially in this point too, I took that shit like somewhere here. I was break even, and I was only risking 100 too. Maybe like 300 off of that. So yeah, down a little bit on the day. That's a good, in my opinion, that's an amazing way to end the week though. Like, you know, not blowing up, not, you know, overdoing it. But yeah. So that's pretty much gonna wrap up this stream, an hour and a half. Definitely I'm gonna watch this shit back for sure. This shit was definitely, you know, a lot to learn from. But anybody who was watching, if you still are here, if you're not, appreciate everybody who, stay tuned. Thank you guys. We'll see you guys next week.